Hello, and welcome to OnStage at the BACP. Thank you so much for choosing to invite us into your home, your office, or wherever you are today. Also, welcome back to our Summer Series 2021. Today we're going to be talking with someone who has been a part of the BACP he got his start at Memphis, so he's going to be telling us about that. But I have to tell you a funny story. He came up here like last week, and he and I talked, and we had such a great time, took the video home, went to put it together, and this is what we had. Yeah, so that wasn't going to work. So today David came back and we redid our video, and I think we got it this time. So today David Rickel, who has done some choreography here, you know what, I'm going to let him tell you the story. So please join me in welcoming David Rickel. Well, David, let's try this again. Welcome back to the Broken Arrow Community Playhouse.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Oh my goodness. So tell us about how you got your start with Broken Arrow. I know you started over at Memphis.
Right. The first show that they did over at Memphis was Guys and Dolls. And they got a hold of me because I had some tappers, and they wanted girl tappers to do one of the hot box numbers. So I came in and was learning how to learning about things, and the building wasn't built yet, so we were rehearsing in somebody's apartment clubhouse thing with terrible carpet on the floor, and it was...
And for a tap dance.
Yeah, fortunately, we could tap practice at my studio, so that was okay, but, you know, then we finally got over to the Playhouse, which was still not finished, and there was no lobby, which means there was no bathrooms. And so they, in their ultimate wisdom, set up a porta-john outside. This was December, you realize, so it was freezing cold outside.
Okay.
And to make it more homey, they set up boards for you to walk on and put Christmas lights from the building to the porta-john. So
awesome.
you could go right out there and just feel festive, yes.
So no bathrooms for the audience or the actors?
No bathroom for anybody.
Wow.
When we finally did move in, we had one big space, which was going to be the theater space, and another big space, which was the scene shop, and but no dressing rooms. So they put blankets up to make little cubbies for people to change clothes in the scene shop. But unfortunately, the ground around the building was not prepared either. It's not graded or anything. So we had a big rainstorm, and the water came in, and there was water all backstage, not on stage, but all backstage. So there was tons of water that people were trying to walk through, and tap shoes, that's not a good idea.
No.
And so every so often you would see somebody come walking on stage, leaving little wet footprints behind them. And the audience kind of looked at that and went, well, that's odd, but the show must go on.
Exactly.
So anyway, we did the show, and it went very well. That was the first show at the Playhouse, and then the last show they did at the Playhouse was called Little Mary Sunshine at the Memphis Playhouse. And I did the choreography for that. Well, I did several shows in between as well. I did one of the ones I specifically remember was they did Steam Heat, and there's a big dance number. There's a big dance number called Steam Heat in Pajama Game. The show's called Pajama Game.
Okay.
Steam Heat is the name of the dance number, and it calls for 2 boys and 1 girl. Well, the girl who played the main role has to be in it. She was fine. And then there was 1 boy, and they didn't have another guy. So I ended up being in it, which I normally don't do. And that was all I did in the whole show. I would come in late, put on my costume, go do that 1 number, and then leave. That was my whole thing for the show.
Okay.
But anyway, at the end of the run of the Memphis Playhouse, they did Little Mary Sunshine, which I came and did, and then they moved over to the main place here where we are now. And the first show they did here was called Quilters, and I did that one as well.
Wow.
And since then, I've done just tons and tons of shows here. Not every show, but a lot of shows I've done here.
Right. I've done some shows with you, and I think the thing I appreciate about you as a choreographer is you can make just about anybody, and I'm speaking of myself, look like they know what they're doing.
The one of the shows we did here was Gypsy. We did in this building, which you were in, you were in, and your daughter was in.
I wasn't Gypsy, though.
No, your daughter was Gypsy.
Yes.
And there's a tap dance in the middle of the show. Tulsa, the boy who's named Tulsa, is supposed to tap dance. Well, they didn't have any tap dancers in the cast, but the boy who played Tulsa, he and I worked together, and people thought he was a tap dancer. When we were done, they thought that he had been tap dancing for a long time, which he had not been, but he did a really good job. So that was a pleasure to do.
That's great. Okay, so you started your first show and the first show at Memphis and the last show at Memphis, several in between. Done the first one here. You just recently did Miracle in Bedford Falls,
right?
Which is the last show we've done here. David, I'm sensing a trend.
No, I'm hoping that doesn't mean anything. Just a new start.
Okay.
But yes, it was the last show that you did right before the COVID outbreak, and it was a very good show. It went really well. Had a lot of good audience. And right before that, I'd done Godspell.
Oh, right.
Which was a great show. We had a really young cast, some kids from Oral Roberts, and it was a lot of fun to do because they were very energetic, and a lot of them were theater majors, and so they had taken some dance, and so I could give them some harder things to do.
Oh, wow. That has to be fun, too, when you've got people who actually know what they're doing.
It's always a pleasure, yes. But that's not why I've staked my claim. It's really helping the people that don't know how to dance.
Yeah, but what an awesome feeling that must be to be successful at teaching someone like me who doesn't really know what they're doing, but you can make me look like I do. So that's got to feel really like a sense of
It's great, and I
accomplishment.
have some actors who, when they see they're going to be on a show and they see it as choreography and they're all terrified about the whole fact and discover I'm the choreographer, they go, oh, well, they'll be fine then. David's choreographer.
Yeah.
so takes a lot of the worry out of there.
That's awesome. Well, anything else that we didn't cover that you specifically wanted to let us know, a memory that you might have had? If not, if we've covered it all, I'm good with that.
No, I've acted in shows here. I have choreographed shows. I've never directed a show here. I have directed before, but not here.
Right.
And no, I really like the choreography part, and that's my favorite thing to do.
And we like you doing it here, so we hope we'll see more of your work on stage here in the future.
I hope so.
Once we get back up and running. So thanks so much for being here today. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. That was...
Okay, I think that worked. We checked the video and it should be fine. And of course, if you've already watched it, you know it worked out. I really appreciate David coming back. Loved hearing his stories both times, even though you only got to hear them once. Well, that's it for this week. So we hope that you'll come back for more on stage at the BACP and more of our Summer Series 2021.